So I'm thinking, like, what does a bassist's house look like? It's got bananas in it.
Like my mum's house.
Potatoes. I've come to visit my friend Michael, a bassist for London-based four-piece rock band Sisteray, to discuss his musical journey to this point. So what are we cooking, Mike?
We are cooking vegan macaroni and cheese.
Michael and I went to school together in Dagenham, one of London's most economically deprived areas. I wondered how going to school here affected Michael's musical progression.
I didn't enjoy learning at school. When you go into every lesson and you just get bored, you don't think I'm going to do that when I get older.
But what about music lessons?
We learned to hit blocks together. And I remember our school had wooden blocks to knock together, about 5 keyboards and some glockenspiels. What are you going to do? You're never going to make a song, are you? Out of school I was teaching myself guitar. And I care about music. So I listen to it more than I watch TV and all that stuff.
This meeting had been a reunion of sorts, as since leaving school Michael and I had lost contact over time. The last time I knew Michael, he was going off to uni to study archaeology, and I never would have thought of him as a performer. I wanted to discover what pushed him to join a band.
I left university, got an apprenticeship at Redbridge College, and Dan was already working there. I had told him I could play guitar, so he called me 2 weeks before our first gig and said, any chance you could play bass? I never thought I'd be on stage, to be honest with you. I never had the nerves to be on stage. When we were in school, we weren't popular. I didn't think people would want to come and watch me on stage. If he had said, do you want to join the band, I probably would have said no. He said, we've got a gig in 2 weeks, can you get a guitar? I felt on the spot, said yes. Absolutely loved it. If he hadn't just gone, just get on the stage and do it, I would have still been doing admin. And it's just selling yourself short, really, isn't it? You've got to find out if you like something.
It seemed clear to me that for Michael, music had benefits beyond the entertainment he could provide for others. It was also key to his self-development, particularly in gaining self-confidence. I attended the Taking Off conference organised by Sound Connections to hear about the progression routes of other young Londoners. I was particularly interested in the talk given by Stella Barnes, Director of Participation at Oval House Arts Centre.
Social divisions in the UK have increased significantly over 20 years. Incomes in real term have dropped. Food bank use has gone up by 4 times in the last about 6 years. Inequality has a disproportionately negative impact on young people. And inequality in the UK is the worst in the EU. The young people that I work with whose lives are challenging tell me they feel ignored by government, they feel stuck, they feel like they can't progress, and they feel like they've lost hope. Sometimes people think the arts isn't very important, but I'm sure we'd all agree that arts participation makes a really important contribution to young people's progression generally in their life.
I had seen the contribution music had made to Michael's life, and both of us coming from an area of London which faces among the worst levels of poverty, I wanted to know if music could be a way to overcome that. You lived in Dagenham for 16 years, a very formative period of your life.
16 of them, yes.
Yeah. Does living in somewhere like that make you want to get out or make you want to release energy in a creative way?
At the time, no. I wasn't even aware I could be in a band at 14. We went over the park, kicked the ball around, went home and played some games. That was it.
The conversation soon degenerated into a list of artists to emerge from Barking and Dagenham.
Billy Bragg come out of Barking.
Yeah.
He sang about Barking.
Dudley
Devlin
Moore.
come out of Dagenham. Devlin.
Devlin?
Devlin, the rapper. Devlin.
Yeah, I've heard of him, yeah.
DV to the Z.
Okay.
But it is irregular to see someone come out creative out of a place like that, isn't it?
Maybe it is because there isn't enough artistic support in Barking and Dagenham. There are places where there is inequality, but there is some artistic support that can nurture that.
I think you find that more in central London. There's even like people in council estates and that, they've got a place to go and do music together and stuff. And I don't necessarily think it's, maybe not support, just the push to go and do it. Just even to give someone the idea that it could be done. If we'd done that in school, if you said, I'm going to go and be a director after school, they'd go, maybe you should think about like being in a bank or something. I don't want to be in a bank, I want to be a director.
That some areas of London are better catered for in terms of artistic support was discussed at the conference.
There is widespread good practice, but a postcode lottery sees lean pickings for musical learning in some parts of England and a feast of opportunities in others. I certainly know in London that there's lots of activity going on in the centre, but if we move out to the outer London suburbs, that there is this lack of opportunity.
So what was Michael's solution to this lack of opportunity?
You're better off doing it all yourself, to be honest. That's what we're doing with the one in December. We're putting it on entirely ourselves. We found our own support acts, running the night ourselves, all the ticketings are done ourselves, advertising ourselves.
These independent gigs, is this something that a lot of musicians are doing now?
No, I wouldn't say a lot of musicians are. I think a lot of musicians are starting to realise you have to, but I wouldn't say it's not mainstream yet. But hopefully with things like this we'll show people it can be. I think a lot of people assume you have to get a promoter and they'll get a few people through the door. But at some point you have to go at it alone or you'll never make it. They do it for their personal business. They want to make money out of you. So we do it to make money for us and to bring music to the people.
The gig was an overwhelming success, with a sellout crowd providing a great atmosphere. But I couldn't help but feel that Michael's go-it-alone approach was his way of turning his back to a system that had failed him. From listening to conversations between young musicians and practitioners at the Taking Off conference, I believe Michael's frustrations are all too common. For those who had found musical support at a young age, a networked approach to musical progression was harnessing results. But more coordination between music education and professional music organisations needs to be done in order to make young people aware of the full range of musical routes available to them.